Okay, so this is question 2 of the mock paper on paper 2, and it is a stats question, or statistics. I'd really hope you'd know by now that stats is an abbreviation for statistics. So a recent campaign by Safe Food Ireland reported that 4 out of 5 children and young people in Ireland today do not meet physical activity guidelines. The students in a 2014 Leaving Certificate year decided to investigate how much sport or exercise the students in their school participated in. In a survey, students were asked to indicate to the nearest hour how much time they spent doing sport or exercise during the previous week. Most students responded and a random sample of results was generated. These results are as follows. So there they are. Alright. So how might a random sample be generated? Now, the thing is, for the Leaving Cert, there's 2 major ones. So for example, use a computer program. Alright? Like a computer program. You can go online. There's a great website called random.org, as far as I remember, and that will generate a random number for you. So you can assign different students different numbers, get a random sample based that way. So computer program, Excel, you can actually do it on your calculator. Alright, so there's lots and lots of different ways. So if you gave an appropriate way of saying how to find a random sample, you should have gotten the marks, okay? But they're the 3 kind of main ones, and handy enough to remember as well. So part B then asks you to display the data using a suitable graphical representation. Now the marking scheme allowed for only 2 things here, which was a bar chart or a line plot, alright? And to be honest, guys, they really are the best ways of representing this information, so I have to agree with the marking scheme on that one. But there were partial credits going for a trend graph or a pie chart, because you are at least showing that you are graphically representing the data. Okay, so let's have a look. So down here I have time spent doing exercise. Alright, so how many students did 3 hours of exercise? Oh yeah, I should mention that. Hours. Alright. And I just count. So go back up here, guys, and just be careful. So count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 students spent 3 hours doing exercise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? So just to say again, guys, this is an example of a line plot. You can do X's, dots. They're the 2 most acceptable ones. So how many students spend 4 hours? 1, 2, 2. 2 students did 4 hours. 1, 2. Okay? How many students did 5 hours? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 students did 5 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many did 6? 1, 2. 2 students did 6. 1, 2. Okay? How many did 7? Nobody did 7. How many did 8? 1 person did 8, and 1 person did 10. Okay? And that is it done. Alright? So then the next question says, I'm going to try my best here in the video using the camera to kind of keep this data as well, right? But it's kind of limiting my room. But anyway, does the graphical representation suggest that the data is skewed? In your answer, you should refer to the graphical representation and an appropriate measure of tendency. So, does the graphical representation suggest that the data is skewed? Yes, it is skewed because it's very large on this side here. So look, it's very large here, and you can see that it's going down, okay? So it is definitely skewed right, okay? So that's the next thing they're looking for. In your answer, for its graphical representation, I would say it's skewed right or positively. I've forgotten how to spell positively. Positively, it's I-V-E-L-Y. Positively skewed. Alright, so skewed right or positively skewed. And the last part of the question says, show an appropriate measure of central tendency. Well, there's 3 major central tendencies that you've learned. Median, mode, and the mean. So if you had found any of them, you would have gotten the mark. So you can go for mode, which is the most frequent one that occurs. And as you can clearly see, the number 3 occurs way more often. 3 hours occurs way more than the rest. Okay, so we're going to say mode is equal to 3. Median is your central or kind of the middle value, right? So to do this, you can go like this. Cancel a low, cancel a high, 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 cancel a low, cancel a high. You kind of get me? All the way until you're left with two values for 4. The median is 4. Okay? The median is 4. And then the mean, well, you should know how to find the mean. The mean is all the numbers added up divided by how many numbers there are. And I'm going to assume you could do that much, and your answer works out to be 4.56. Okay? So the answer was yes, either skewed right or positively skewed, and a measure of central tendency is any of these 3 values. Okay? And the last question then, the students are planning to repeat their research on a larger scale. List one improvement they can make to the design of the research in order to reduce the possibility of bias in the samples. Explain how this improvement would reduce the likelihood of bias. Okay? So to do this, go back to what the question was saying. It says that the students in a 2014 Leaving Cert year decided to investigate how much sport or exercise students in their school participated in. So a Leaving Cert year did it in one school. Alright? It does not stress if the school is mixed. Okay, so it could be an all-boys school and all-girls school. So there's 2 things there straight away. They should do their survey in another school, or possibly lots of schools. Ideally, every single school in Ireland to get the best idea that they can. Alright? So do same survey in another school or schools. Is the school mixed? Alright, so there's 2 main ones there. I'll list other ones that they have here. It says that get more schools to participate, ensure both girls and boys respond. Samples should be equally divided among boys and girls. Be more specific regarding the type of activity of sports. So, for example, snooker is not as active as basketball. Ensure that previous week is a typical week in students' lives. So, for example, last week maybe they were training for a final. So make sure it's a typical week. Decrease time interval to the nearest half hour. Alright, so to get a more accurate measure on how much time they do. So a student could do 4 hours and 35 minutes and they've rounded it up to 5 hours. Okay, so there's loads of different things you can do there. Alright, and that was question 2, paper 2 of your mock, a statistics question.